Good evening. The opinions and statements voiced by our guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this network. Enjoy the shows.
We've been expecting you.
It's Monday. Time for our maven of the supernatural, Denise Pridemore. This is the Paranormal Pride. Join to listen and chat live on WBHM-DB.com or Spreaker app. Search WBHM-DB every Monday at 7 p.m. Central for your supernatural paranormal fix. Welcome to the Paranormal Pride, where the show is about the guest and the listener.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and we had some issues with our guests this week, but instead of canceling, I got us a backup. And my backup tonight is Carl Albertson. He's returning to the Paranormal Pride. And we've got so many things to tell you because we worked a little last week on a big thing that that he's going to talk to you guys about. And we're going to talk to you about a paranormal conference, probably the one and only one that's going to be around for a little while, up in Cameron, Missouri, that Carl's asked me and Ron to be part of. So welcome, Carl, to the Paranormal Pride.
Well, thank you, Denise. Thanks for having me on.
So, since I started off with the teaser, starting on Halloween morning, you guys for WO Entertainment, which is a veteran-operated network, started to do a Guinness World Book record attempt to break the record of the longest live stream on record.
Correct.
The previous record was what?
161 hours, 11 minutes, and some odd seconds.
Okay. And so since I'm saying the previous, that means you guys broke the record.
We broke the record. WO Entertainment now owns the world record for the longest live stream.
And how long was that?
171 hours, 30 minutes, and 15 seconds, I believe is what it is.
And me and Ron were on there multiple times. And one of them was me driving back from the airport. So, but next time you guys do this, we're going to use my scheduling detail. I'm really good at that. So we're going to
hopefully it's going to be a while before the next time we do this.
Well, it's going to be at least over a week.
Oh, yeah. At least. At least. I'm still recuperating.
It's still going to take somebody that long to break the record again.
Yeah, it will once it gets out and notified and everybody's seen what we did. There'll be somebody try to break it, and then the next one will even be longer.
Right, and that will be because now it's going to be the live stream challenge, coined by Denise Pridemore.
There you go.
I created the live stream challenge. There you go. So, like I said, what was different about your live stream compared to the previous record's live stream?
Okay, the previous live stream, they watched Game of Thrones for 161 hours, sitting on a couch in their pajamas. I mean, how boring could that be?
Did it show them sitting on their couch in pajamas?
Yes.
So did it show them snoring too?
Yeah, they slept there. The kitchen was an open floor plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'd see them get up and go into the kitchen, get them a snack, come back in, lounge on the couch. Game of Thrones is off to the side, so you can't see the video. You can hear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything. And they're doing that. They go take a bathroom break, come back in, and there was always somebody in there.
Huh.
I mean, when Justin looked this up, when he thought about doing the world record with the WO Entertainment, and there was a reason why we was looking for something to do, is he came across this. So he contacted Richie and said, we're going to do a world record. And Richie goes, on what? He goes, live streaming. Of what? And then talked to me about it, and I said, yeah, we can do it using our StreamYard and stuff. And it went from there, and it led all the way up to our big event, which is Warrior Fest down there in Blue Springs, Missouri.
You know what would have been great is if it would have ended on Veterans Day.
Yeah, we thought about that.
But you would have had to have adjusted when you started. Instead of starting on Halloween, starting, a few days later and have it end on Veterans Day, which would have just been great. Or maybe the next time you guys try to do this, break it on starting on Veterans Day.
Right. And I think that's what we'll do next time. If the record gets broke, then we'll start it on Veterans Day and probably run it for a month.
Well, like I said, you'll have to utilize those mad scheduling skills that I have.
That's right.
And you will not be left holding the bag.
Right. Yeah.
We'll make sure that we have people scheduled. That was the bad
part about that. I got left holding the bag on this one. Out of the 171 hours, I put in 135 hours.
Right.
And then a friend of ours that I produce a show for, produced a 1700 somewhere show, Cameron Bates. He's number 2 on the list. He put in over 60 hours in the evenings.
Well, I don't know how many hours we did, but we didn't do anything alone.
No.
So, but like I said,
a lot of people. I give a lot of thanks out to Cameron, Nico, new member of our WO Entertainment show that'll be coming up. The great Nico, or Great Kaninsky. That's his show. Mm-hmm. He was on there quite a bit with me and everything, and covered me for certain things and stuff like that. But
I think Hershey should get his own show.
Yeah, he should. And then on top of that, I got to give a shout out to your cousin April and her husband Richard.
Mm-hmm.
They were nice enough and volunteered, and they came on when I was really dragging to give me a 3-hour break.
I know. I've got great family.
Yes, you do. And they all follow all your shows. She's probably in the chat room somewhere or watching this one and everything. But April was on 2 or 3 times during the live streaming.
I wish I could have been on more, but with my work schedule and everything, I couldn't do it.
Everything he was doing on the election and stuff like that, right in the middle of it, it was rough.
It was. When we worked the election, when Ron and I came home, it was just bad week all around for us. Getting back from vacation, working one day, taking a day off, then the other, and then with the shingles, I've just been. This is the beginning of my 4th week, and it's worse than it was the first 2 weeks, and so it's just been getting progressively worse. As far as the pain goes. So, and I won't take too much pain medicine.
Right.
So, it is what it is. But, people, if you're in for vaccines, I'd say go get the shingle shot if you're a vaccine person. I'm not. I might be after this because they say every time you get shingles after the first time, it gets worse each time.
Yeah, it does.
This is much worse than the first time I had them. And,
right. And it keeps getting worse.
And it does. And like I said, I'm not a big vaccine person. So for me to tell you that, it's a big deal. So, well, congratulations on breaking the record. I know that I have to send an email to you because we were watching.
Yep.
I mean, we knew you broke it. I was watching. I just didn't see that the stream stopped right when it stopped. But
yeah, and that's the funny part. We was going for 180 hours, right? I still don't know what happened. StreamYard got stopped. And the only way you stop StreamYard is you hit a button on the top corner. It says
Right.
end broadcast and hit it again.
right.
Right? It stopped by itself.
It could just been that there was a glitch in the software. Maybe they did a software update.
There was a glitch in the software, and everything went perfect up until Friday night. Friday night we got there, set up. I had my phone on, so we'd always be live and everything. Got the computer all set up, went to StreamYard, and it would show our pictures in the StreamYard deal, right? But it wasn't going out to any of the platforms. It was showing circles.
Yeah, I remember.
Right?
Yep,
Well,
I remember
Shay,
that.
one of the members from 1700 somewhere there,
Mm-hmm.
she was helping me. She got a hold of StreamYard in the chat room and contacted them and told them, gave them the link. We worked this for 45 minutes, and all of a sudden, it popped up live. So StreamYard was having a problem somewhere.
More than likely, they were doing an update. Microsoft does updates at weird times.
Uh-huh.
And I guarantee that there was something running on one of their servers that had to be updated, because I know that I started having a couple issues on Friday with my work computer with some of the scripts I was running. And of course, most of our stuff is Oracle and Microsoft and things like that. So things happen and there's not much you can do about it. But at least you, like I said, I remember seeing it. I knew that you broke the record because I knew how many hours you had to beat. So
Yeah.
I knew that you beat that. So that's all I cared about. I was like, woohoo, it's all good.
Yep.
And that, so but like I said, when I was teasing you, I said, so when are you going to do it again? And I was teasing that it was like having a baby.
Yeah.
You know, right after you have it, you're, I'm not doing this ever again. And about a year later, you're going, oh, I got to do it again. It's that time.
Yeah. Well, we probably will in another year. We'd already talked about that. Me and Cameron talked about it at Warrior Fest. Is, you know, if the record's not broke, we're going to do a live feed, but it's only going to be for like 96 hours.
Yeah.
You know, something over Veterans Day and things like that. But, yeah, everybody, we did this, the numbers and everything, and why the live stream was there. We're trying to curb the 22 a day, and that's how many veterans lose their life every day. And that's what WO Entertainment is all about, is helping veterans.
And just so you guys know, Ron and I are volunteers for WO Entertainment as well.
Yes.
Backed by Lumen, the company I work for. They're backing me on my volunteer time, helping WO Entertainment. So just be aware that I am a behind the scenes volunteer for that. I'll be helping out with some of their events that may be live streamed during it, but it'll be during times that I don't have a show or anything like that. We do have an event that's coming up that's related to WO, but is not WO, right? The Paracon is for the other charity you work for,
Right.
the old schoolhouse in Cameron, Missouri.
Yes.
And that is on November 21st.
Right.
So if anybody's looking for an event that they want to go to and you're in the area, there's going to be a paranormal conference, and Carl's going to tell you all about that.
Right. Yeah, we decided, basically I decided, and I talked to a few people, and I'd been watching everything. CC Paracon got shut down. All the Paracons, basically in the state of Missouri, have been shut down.
Mm-hmm. And Kansas.
And Kansas, and then a lot of them in Illinois.
Iowa. Yeah,
Iowa.
well, Illinois is all shut down. Iowa wasn't, and then it was, which is odd. But Nebraska didn't let HauntACon in Omaha happen. The Van Meter Visitor Festival, which is all outside, got canceled.
Right.
And so anything in the 4 to 6 state area that we're close to has been canceled.
Correct. And that's why I said, well, in our area up here, we're not under a lot of restrictions up here. So the school agreed with me, gave me the whole school to do this Paracon in so we can raise money for the old school and everything. So this year at the 2020 Parafest, it's what it's called, Parafest Old School, there in Cameron, Missouri. Our guest speakers there is, of course, Denise Pridemore, the host of this show. Another guest that's going to be on there is David Glidden from 4-State Paranormal, haunted history. Is it haunted or haunting history?
Haunting history.
Haunting history. Paranormal frequencies. Filmmaker. Into the Light 2. Everybody knows him.
Yeah, all around troublemaker.
Right. And then also one of the guest speakers, it's going to be there. It's a group of people. Midland Ghostbusters out of Kansas City are coming up.
And they're the ones that dress like the Ghostbusters, don't
yes,
they?
They have a vehicle that's set up just like the Ghostbusters. They dress in all the gear with the things on their backpack, and they do skits and talk about it and everything. Then those, we're going to have vendors up there. We've already got, last count I had was 15 vendors have signed up.
Woohoo!
To be there. A lot of it don't deal with paranormal on the
That's
vendors.
okay.
That's
you know what?
fine.
This is one of those events where it's right before Thanksgiving. So it's a perfect time to have, people who make soap and candles there that want to sell it you can get it for Christmas gifts. Get those quilt makers and those crocheters in there too. Who says they can't crochet some ghosts in advance?
Exactly.
And not to mention, I know you guys have friends that make barbecue sauce. Are they going to be there?
Yes.
Is Matt going to be there? Matt Brooks.
I'm trying to get him up there.
I would think that would be great. Matt Brooks is a good friend of ours.
And Matt Brooks is going to be a new show, Hot Boxing with Matt, on the WO Entertainment Showcase.
And that's going to be talking about barbecuing and catering and all that stuff?
Yes, he's going to do barbecuing on there, show the recipes, do a lot of different things on there about barbecue. And
just so you guys know, Matt Brooks is also used to be really deep into the paranormal. He used to help us at the Sally House. And it's a really funny story how we met. But and I'm not going to tell you guys that right now, but I actually introduced Matt to WO. And of course I introduced Matt to Carl a long time ago.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things where and for those of you who don't know, Ron is a veteran. So I do have, my heart is involved in this, and I am the lead veteran organizer for Lumen for Kansas. So you can see where my heart is on this. And those of you who don't know, one of our good friends, Rick Rose, he is also a veteran, and he also did a video about the 22 a day and why it's so important that we help out and maybe just be that sounding board for that person. I don't think it even matters if they're a veteran. If there's somebody that's in need, that thinks that suicide is the way out, we all need to step up.
Right. But they can contact us, any of them. We've had a lot of, this last year in our small area up here, we lost, I don't know how many teenagers to suicide.
Yep. And well, you know what? We are at our first commercial. It goes so fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So everyone, you're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. If you have any questions for Carl about anything, please put it in the chat rooms and I will make sure they get asked. But we will be back in just a couple minutes.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope. That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama. Since 1948, Fate Magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting. You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
This is Jason Bland, host of Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, where we stream live as a webcast every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, with guests who will blow your mind. Live ghost box sessions where you can call into the show to see if the spirits will talk to you, and the world wide web of weird with the latest in paranormal news and evidence. We're bringing the weird every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 23 minutes after the hour.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and my guest tonight is Carl Albertson. He is a paranormal investigator out of Caldwell County, Missouri. And, sometimes you guys hear me say, I got a question from Carl from CC Paranormal Team. That's him. And he's been on the show before. It's been a while, but he's been on before. And tonight we've been talking about a few other things, not just paranormal. So if you do have any paranormal questions, please ask them. And Gary, I'm going to ask your favorite question. Carl, what do you think about dowsing rods?
Oh, I love them. I mean, I've been doing things with them on my show, Paranormal Nation Radio, where I'm live on there and holding the rods, and people in the chat room ask the questions, and the rods respond to the chat room questions.
I will say, when you guys had your investigation on Halloween at the old school Cameron, we wanted to come, but we had just gotten back from vacation, and the thought of driving another 90 minutes after driving all that, especially the rain and all that we encountered, it was just too much at the time. Plus, I don't think I would have been very animated having shingles and stuff. Right. But you had all this online, so part of this was live streamed, the investigation, and you brought me in to talk because I couldn't type as fast as I could talk.
Right.
And so you brought me in, and I did something that I don't usually do.
Exactly, you did.
And what that is I actually did readings for the people that were there, telling them about some stuff that was going on that I wasn't really privy to. I couldn't really see it very well. And so what were the reactions of the guests to the readings that I gave them?
Oh, they were blown away. When you was first, when they were behind the camera and they would ask you a question, and you would answer it, you should have seen their reaction. Their mouths would drop open, everything. Well, then they found out you was live where I was watching you, so they came around behind me on the camera where you could talk to them face to face. And they were just amazed because you was nailing it. One little kid there, his dad was behind the camera, and you were describing who was there with him, and the dad, his mouth dropped to the floor because you described his mother.
See, like I said, I don't get to know, I didn't get to know everything that they had to say because I wasn't on the air anymore. So that's good for me. I was teasing Ron afterwards. I said, I'm going to start charging people.
You might as well. There's a lot of them out there that do.
Start paying. That way I can pay for my new house in Alabama.
There you go. When you get to move down there.
If.
Yeah.
Depends on the economy, whether or not we get to do that or not. But I will say we found a really nice place or nice area, not place. We found a nice area that we really liked. And the question is does Ron like it enough to move there should something happen to me? Because
Right.
I'm thinking he'd probably go more for Tennessee than the beach.
Right.
But and of course I'm kidding. But but yeah, it does make you wonder if I'm right more than I'm wrong when I read people, because I just don't come out and say stuff most of the time. And Ron keeps telling me, when you see something, you need to say something. And a lot of times you can't. And so I guess basically on Halloween, I felt free enough to say what I was seeing.
Right.
And that was it. So we do have a question.
You also did it in the chat room Friday night.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh.
When
like I said, I don't remember.
The band that was up on stage, we had the drapes over the drum.
Oh, and I was telling you about this person.
Passed away a week ago.
I did not know that. That's why you sent me that story.
Yes. That's why I sent you that picture. Was that what you saw?
Yes. And I didn't even realize, because a lot of times when I tell somebody what I see, it immediately leaves my mind because it's not my information. So I don't even remember, but I remember saying that I was seeing this man up there, and I thought that, well, maybe you weren't there to see what I was posting.
I was there. I was watching it.
And
the only person I went over and asked Richie, I said, I don't know who the drummer was. Describe him to me. And he described exactly what you put in the chat room that you saw on that stage when his son was up there playing the violin.
Well.
And then they sent me that picture earlier and everything of the memory of him and everything, and had him playing the drums. So I said, well, I better send that to Denise and see if this is what she saw.
Oh, I'm got chills all over. Because usually that's the last thing you want to do is bring up somebody who just passed. But then, when people say that they're there with you in spirit, in this case, that's true.
Yeah. Because like you said, he told you that was his favorite place. And it was. They're from that area. They would come there and play all the time.
Well, I guess now Misfits is going to be known as one of the haunted bars.
Yeah. They can be known as a lot of things.
Oh. So, well, and we're not going to talk
no,
about
we're not.
That the location, it's good to know that maybe I should stop doubting myself when I see something.
Right.
Instead of trying to make sense of it, just spit it out, because I'm a logic person. You said that
right out of the blue in that chat room that night.
Mm-hmm.
You posted in there, I see a spirit on the stage. And I went, okay. And then you started describing the man.
Like I said, I'm dumbfounded that, the stuff at the paranormal event, sometimes it's easy to read people.
Right.
To read what they want to hear, things like that. You can just tell by the way that they're standing there. If they're standing there with their arms crossed, they don't want to hear nothing. There's
No,
nothing
they're
you're going to
doubters.
say. Yeah, they're not going to listen to anything you have to say unless it's valid to them. But it's hard to do it from 90 miles away.
Yeah. Well, that's just like this Warrior Fest brings back memories of one other thing. Okay. Me and Gary was on your show. Somehow we found your show and watched it for a few weeks. And then you invited me and Gary to be on the show. And then we was on it again before we ever met.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I produced a show, 1700 somewhere with Cameron and Athen and with Shay. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Only time I've ever seen them is on the live video before we do the show or after the show. They both showed up at Warrior Fest this year. So I got to meet them. Oh, yeah. And Cameron, he had to play for a football team somewhere.
Oh.
That man is huge.
Oh. Well, I am just so glad Warrior Fest went off as well as it did. Did they have as many people there as they expected?
No.
No. Do you think it's because of the virus?
A lot of that was, and the bar didn't promote us being down there because there was rumors that somebody was going to try to come in and shut them down.
Shut down the bar?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
No. So we had that going on. This Warrior Fest had been scheduled for a year.
Right.
On these 2 days. But yet, in those 2 days, they schedule birthday parties and other parties at the same time.
At the bar?
Yeah.
I say next time possibly have it in a venue that's not monitored, not that you don't have to pay for, like somebody's property.
Right.
That way you can do it outside, maybe have a little camping, do it a little bit earlier in the year.
We're looking at 2 other locations.
Perfect. And like I said, and I can help out as much as I can. And like I said, I'm good at scheduling. I'm good at finding. I used to work for United Way. So.
And then Justin, last night on the show on 1700 somewhere, we got Justin on there live because he's been holding back on us. He's been.
Well, the announcement was contingent upon you breaking the record.
Right. And we broke the world record. So he came out and told us who the big band that as soon as we can schedule it correctly will be playing at Warrior Fest next year.
And this is contingent upon scheduling.
Yes.
And their schedule, not necessarily yours, but their schedule. And this band is somebody huge.
If we had to pay them to come to our venue, it would cost us $50,000
or more.
Yeah, and they are big in representing the veterans.
And they're more. So for those of you listening, this band is hard rock to heavy metal.
Yes,
I like them.
They have a truck in the Monster Jams.
Right.
But we talked about it last night, but we decided to keep it more under wraps until we get a new place lined up and get their schedules all scheduled up where we can get them in.
Right. I think it's good to not overpromise and underdeliver. Right. It's better to underpromise and overdeliver when you can.
Right.
So
well, it's
military
like
thing.
We had one band that didn't show up Friday night. So we had an hour and a half that we had to fill in.
Mm-hmm.
So Shay come up with this idea, says, well, let's do a round table. So we put a table and 4 chairs up on the stage, and Cameron got up there, Shay got up there, I got up there, and Richie got up there. And we just started talking about everything. We had veterans coming up on the stage with us talking. And that's what it's all about.
It is.
Right there.
And putting them first is what counts.
Right.
So I do have another question for you in the chat room, and this is from Ron.
Yeah.
He asks, what kind of equipment do you use, Carl?
Yeah, right. He's seen them all, but I'll tell him anyway and everything. Of course, we use dowsing rods for starters. We just recently acquired an SLS camera, which we had been using a computer and Connect and made our own SLS, but now we have a portable handheld SLS camera.
Well, yeah, and we saw it the day Gary got it out the first time when we were at the graveyard.
Right.
He was having a hoot with that.
Oh, he has a blast with that thing. He does. But we do that. Of course, we use EchoVox 3 as an app that we use to talk spirits with. And we're starting to use necrophonics a lot more. I'm getting a lot more replies out of it.
Are the replies out of necrophonic more clear?
Yes, they are. A lot more clear.
Okay. What other equipment do you guys like to use?
Oh,
besides Denise?
Yeah, I use Denise when she shows up. I just say, "Who's here?"
Yeah.
But the dowsing rods, and when we do our events and stuff, we show the people how to use the dowsing rods, and they start using them, and it's fun to watch their reactions when they start using them. But it's also fun to watch the ones that are negative grounded. They can't use them.
Okay, here's another question from Sherry.
Okay.
Is Missouri Penn Carl's favorite place to go in Missouri, or does he have other faves near him? To give you a heads up, Carl used to work at the Missouri State Penn.
Yeah, I was a CO at the Missouri State Penitentiary. As far as investigating it, I've never been down there.
Did you have any experiences when you worked there that might have been
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was down ADSEG and Death Row, and, I mean, they're noisy places.
Mm-hmm.
But you have all men in there on Death Row and ADSEG because it's a men's penitentiary.
Right.
You don't hear female voices.
Right, because they only ever had one woman on death row.
Right.
In its entire history. And only one woman was ever put to death there.
Yep. But yeah,
So,
I heard women's voices down there all the time.
I wonder if those women weren't haunting the prisoners, the ones that hurt them.
It very well could be. I thought about that over the years and everything. Is like, those people are long gone that were there then. And I'm wondering, like you just said, are they there to haunt the ones that hurt them, that were put to death there or stayed on death row there?
Right. Because some of the ones that stayed there on death row, they didn't die there. They ended up dying in Potosi.
Right.
When they moved them. The last person to die in the gas chamber in Missouri State Penn actually was my daughter-in-law's mother's long lost love, the love of her life. She talked about him all the time, Tiny Mercer. Yes, I know. Isn't it sad how many connections I have to these places?
Yeah, it is.
And they're dark connections too, which is really disgusting. But yeah, when we went there, that was the first thing Becca told us was, "Hey, that was my mom's boyfriend."
Right. And then back to her question and everything. Of course, I helped you guys up at the Sally House for a year up there. Right now, the old school in Cameron has got my attention, and of course, our Cox Cemetery that we take care of.
Yep. And let's see. April asks, what's the best evidence you've gotten from the old school?
The best evidence I've gotten from the old school. Well, Gary got a picture taken with a trail cam up on the 3rd floor that I've looked at and looked at. I've been up on the 3rd floor to where the game cam was at to see what reflections it could have made off any of the glass doors that are up there. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find any link to that. Besides, it's a video. I haven't seen the video yet. He showed me the picture, but it's a video. And this thing does some weird things in this video. So I got to check it out a little bit more. And the other evidence I got was watching Justin get punched in the stomach.
Yes. And I still think that that was more related to him than the location.
I do too.
I think that the father is saying, make an honest woman of my daughter.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Or stop getting the cow for free. That's all he's saying.
Yeah.
9 years is a long time to be sitting on the pot.
Uh-huh. It is.
But that's how I feel. Because I know he was upset and stuff, but that's just what it felt like to me.
Right.
I didn't feel like he was in any danger.
No.
Now,
no, that's the nice thing about the old school. Nobody's in danger there.
No, I don't know why I got scratched twice while I was there.
I know. Well, you get scratched everywhere you go.
Sometimes it's attention. Hey, pay attention to me. You're not paying it. Because a lot of times when we're doing tours and helping out with stuff like that, we're paying attention to everybody else, making sure nobody's getting hurt, things like that. I'm not paying attention to maybe the spirit that's trying to get my attention. I'm trying to pay attention to what these other people, if there's a spirit trying to get their attention. And sometimes I don't have eyes in the back of my head.
Yeah. And see, the funny thing about the old school, I've been trying to get in there for 5 years. And
I remember you saying something about it a long time ago.
Yeah. I called and asked them several times. Nope. Well, after joining W Entertainment and getting to know Show Mom and all that, which she's the manager of the building and everything, and then they found out the president is retiring. So the moment they invited me to the meeting to make me an advisor on the board, right, of the old school and everything, and I went, okay. And as soon as the lady said, thank you, I retire, and walked out the door, every one of them in there turned around and goes, you're a paranormal investigator. And I went, yeah. What's this about doing tours? How can we make money? It was the first thing out of their mouth.
Oh, well, apparently they had somebody that was oppressing them. But we're coming up on our next commercial. So everybody, you're listening to WBHM-DB.com. We will be back with Carl Albertson in just a couple minutes. So this is a good time for you guys to go get a little drink and come on back.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope. That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
This is Jason Bland, host of Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, where we stream live as a webcast every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, with guests who will blow your mind. Live ghost box sessions where you can call into the show to see if the spirits will talk to you, and the world wide web of weird with the latest in paranormal news and evidence. We're bringing the weird every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 45 minutes after the hour.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore. And Carl, you were talking about when we left the meeting at the old school Cameron, when they decided they wanted to make a little extra money off of paranormal tours, why did they think that a paranormal tour was a good thing? Were they having paranormal experiences already?
Oh, yeah. Several of them had. As soon as that got to talking, I mean, each one of them would say, yeah, I saw this and I heard this and I saw that. And I said, why do you think I've been trying to get in here for 5 years? You know, from all the stories I've heard and the history of the old building, it was built in 1914 and everything. And there's a lot of things in there. But the old school in there, and you know as well as I do, that boiler room is where the majority of the activity is at.
And again, I think that there's something there that allows people to. I think it's dark. I think it's so dark that not dark in a bad way, dark in a way that where they're so focused on wanting to have a paranormal experience that the spirits that came with them are finally being heard.
Right, and that's a lot of it. And we found that out in the very first investigation we did. Richie was there, and a spirit came through I think it was necrophonics.
Yes.
And it was a buddy of his that died in Afghanistan.
Yes, I remember, because I was giving him the information.
Right, and it was all, and how Richie verified it was, he was asking him what was the cards he was holding that last game they played before he went out on his maneuvers and never came back.
Mm-hmm.
And he told him.
He was very skeptical to begin with.
Uh-huh.
Even though his daughter or stepdaughter has paranormal experiences, and he was skeptical of her experiences, even though she has validated her experiences.
Right.
Between her and her mother, they seem to have a lot of things going on, and I know that he marks it all up to his Native American heritage. It's not just that.
No, it's not.
There's something there.
He'll tell you he don't believe in it, but he always talks about that. Yes. You know, in the back, yeah, he's looking at it in a different view than he used to. You know,
and I think, Justin, I'm helping him with some learning how to rein in pull in his experiences so that they can be more for him than just random out there in the universe.
Right.
Because he's now starting to see these experiences that he's been having all along, and knows that it's not imagination.
Right. And he's got to get that under control, because his youngest one sees them and hears them.
Yeah, I know. And that's why he asked me for guidance. And I told him I got some stuff for him.
Right.
So that he can do some self-learning and then ask questions. Because I think you have to be self-motivated for anything. But in this field, it is easy to lose your concentration. And it's also easy to let somebody else tell you everything.
Right.
Without you having to actually learn it. Because there's always somebody there who thinks that they know more than you. And sometimes the paranormal people are willing to that person has more experience than me, so I'm just going to go with what they say. And I don't think you've ever noticed, but I don't ever go with that. If I agree, I agree. If I don't, I say I don't.
Right.
So that's kind of where he needs to get. He needs to get to where he feels confident in what he's seeing, feeling, hearing, and so that he can help his son be confident in it, but also keep it private when he needs to.
Right. And that's just like, well, and not off the subject or anything, but the Parafest we're having here,
mm-hmm.
Usually Cameron doesn't do a lot for their own up here.
Mm-hmm.
The trunk and treat this year at the old school when they found out they was having a trunk and treat and was having a paranormal investigation. You know, we had over 1,000 people show up for the trunk and treat.
Was there enough candy?
Barely.
Well, it's probably because it was the only event in town.
No, there was 3 other events going on.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder if you brought in any people from surrounding towns.
We probably did, but what was really cool about their trunk and treat, it just wasn't cars parked there with people standing behind it handing candy out.
Mm-hmm.
They had animatronics set up, werewolves, 6 and 7 feet tall. They had blow-up things. They had freaky-looking things hanging in a swing that would move its head. And, it was awesome.
I know that when they had it here, they would decorate, their not only their trunk, but they would decorate outside of it. But that's down here.
Yeah. Well, we even had one lady that brought one of them buses you see at the college and big fat wide things,
mm-hmm.
right? And everything. She had it decked out like a haunted house inside. People would walk in, steps up the back door and walk through and look and then go out the side door.
Oh, well, that was good.
Yeah. She was packed.
I bet.
She was packed. And then at our paranormal investigation that night, Richard Montano, who is a comedian on the WO Entertainment and Veterans that we do, when we do shows, he comes up. He's out of Las Vegas. He was in the Kansas City area. He brought his kids and grandkids. Those are the ones you read that night.
Oh. Oh, well.
Yeah, I seen him and talked to him about it Saturday night. He was down at Warrior Fest as one of the comedians.
Well, like I said, I'm just glad everybody had a good time and that I entertained them.
Oh, you entertained them. You entertained. He said that's all they talked about, and they're still talking about it.
Well, like I said, I'm glad they enjoyed it. I don't know what Ron thought at the time, but it's always, like I said, it's always interesting. And
well, like I said, it was a different venue for you. You don't usually do that type of stuff.
No, I don't. It's not because I'm shy.
No, you're far from being shy.
Yeah, I'm far from that. But it's more, I don't want to tell somebody something if they don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
Because sometimes, I hate to say this, but what people don't realize is that sometimes you can get a peek at the skeletons in their closet.
Right.
And sometimes that stuff is really private and you don't need to bring it out, especially in public. So, like I said, and it happens so much to me that it's just a habit now just to keep my mouth shut on a lot of stuff. So saying it is one thing. Seeing it is, I hate to say it, but if you ever sometimes saw some of the stuff that I see, it might freak you out.
I'm sure it would.
So, but again, Ron always asks, so how do you see them? And I was like, I see them just like I see you.
Yeah, you got the gift. That's
sometimes.
all I can say.
Sometimes.
Got the gift.
Sometimes it's a gift.
Yeah. So it could be a curse at other times.
Yeah, everybody has something that is a curse and a gift to them. Could be something as little as one of these cats that I have laying here on the bed. Sometimes they're gifts and sometimes they're curses.
Right. Well,
at 1:30
like
in the morning,
said,
they're curses.
I would like to have your ability for one day. That's all I wanted, one day, so I could experience it. I don't think I could handle it for a lifetime like you've had to.
No, like I said, it's just really hard to explain how it feels. But I got a feeling that if I didn't have it now, I would wonder what's wrong.
Right. If it leaves you all of a sudden one day and you don't see another spirit or don't hear another voice, it will change you to a point of what happened, why, what was that about.
Or did I have something that caused me to hear it all this time and suddenly I'm cured?
Right.
I don't know. But I will tell you, Kat had a show in August, and it was with Richard Lindsay Milne. Was it Richard? Richard or Robert? I think it was, but he did readings on the air, and one was Ron's cousin, and he hit the nail on the head. And on mine, which was later on, he started all this stuff, and he was right on, and it wasn't from my question. My question was something even more personal than what he was reading, and all he got was my name and that I'm in Kansas. He didn't know that we were friends on Facebook because he didn't have my last name, and he had no clue I was going to call. So Kat, on the other hand, she's listening to all this, and she's like, this is right on. She's messaging me as I'm talking, as he's talking to me. And so she knows what's going on. But I played that reading for Ron's mom, and she couldn't believe what he said. And the details are the important part in this, but I can't give you all the details because that it's out there. You can listen to it. It's just I'm not going to talk about it because it is very personal to me. I cried, not on the air, but afterwards. And when I re-listened to it, I cried, and it was related to my stillborn granddaughter and my new upcoming grandson in January. And so, needless to say, it was very emotional. I don't know if I could do what he does. Even though I did kind of do what he does, but not health-wise. I can't tell somebody that, you're going to have a heart attack. I can tell Ron that he's quite possibly going to have a stroke from getting upset. But that's because I know what's going on. It has nothing to do with me looking at somebody or listening to somebody talk and telling them that they have shoulder pain. Yeah. And I do have shoulder pain. It comes from the hernia. And he said I had shoulder pain. Thought I needed shoulder surgery when it's really the hiatal hernia that needs surgery. But he did tell me I was going to have surgery. It was going to get better. I'm hoping.
You should have listened to that segment we did on the live stream when we had the pre-recorded session with Travis and Tanya, the mother and stepfather of Leah Dawson that was murdered up in our area.
Oh.
Filming that was one thing that day, filming it and everything. And then watching it again on the live broadcast, that was hard.
It tears you apart. So,
it does. It does, because that was a senseless murder up here.
Did they have anybody? Did they have a psychic or anything read?
No.
For them to give them more information?
No.
They do know who did it, right?
Yeah, he got 14 years.
14.
Yeah, because the man was smart. I got to give him just that much. I hate giving him that much, but you have to. He decided to have a judge trial, not a jury.
Right.
Okay. The judge told him they did not have enough evidence to charge him with second-degree murder. So we had to charge him with first-degree manslaughter.
Even though the whole thing, from my understanding, okay, I don't know that much about it, but my understanding is that it was premeditated and planned.
It was. And what it boils down to, we think, she had enough evidence on him that she was trying to get out of the relationship with him, that she was going to basically rat him out because he was the biggest meth dealer in the 4-county area up here.
Oh.
She was 23, he was 47.
I don't know. That sounds. Oh, we got to go to break. Everybody, you're listening to WBHM-DB.com. We are at the top of the hour news break, so if you got to go get a drink, take the dog out, this is it, and we'll be back after the news.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Hulu, presenting the new original series No Man's Land. No Man's Land follows the battle between fighting for what you believe in or supporting the ones you love. Stream No Man's Land on November 18th, only on Hulu.
Live from NPR News, I'm Jack Speer. Another grim milestone for the coronavirus in the U.S., with the number of confirmed cases exceeding the 10 million mark. Meanwhile, the U.S. death toll from COVID-19 is approaching 238,000, according to the Johns Hopkins University Coronavirus Resource Center. Earlier today, President-elect Joe Biden previewed heightened efforts to fight the coronavirus and again urged people to wear a mask during what he said will be a dark winter.
The projections still indicate we could lose 200,000 more lives in the coming months before a vaccine can be made widely available. So we can't forego the important work that needs to be done between now and then to get our country through the worst wave yet in this pandemic.
Infections are rising in nearly every state in the country as colder weather moves in. Daily confirmed coronavirus cases are up 60% over the past 2 weeks. President Trump has fired Defense Secretary Mark Esper. It's the latest staff shakeup with the Trump administration since Election Day. NPR's Aisha Roscoe reports Trump has yet to concede and is pledging to continue lawsuits contesting the outcome.
The central Texas town of Bastrop, just east of...
President Trump says that Mark Esper will be replaced by the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, Christopher Miller. Trump said in a tweet that Esper had been terminated, though he didn't provide any explanation for his removal. Esper is the highest profile departure from the administration in recent days. But at least 3 other agency heads have been removed or demoted since the election, including the chairman of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. While Trump has refused to concede, his campaign has offered no evidence that would overturn the thousands of votes necessary across multiple states for him to claim a second term. Aisha Roscoe, NPR News.
President Trump and his GOP allies continue to claim there were election irregularities in the counting of presidential votes in 5 states. NPR's John Burnett has more on that story.
The central Texas town of Bastrop, just east of Austin, is Trump country. To a person, the voters we interviewed here parrot the president's claims that he's the victim of a sprawling multi-state conspiracy to steal the election. And the more the mainstream networks and newspapers report that there is no evidence of vote fraud, the more Trump's followers believe the fake news media are part of the scheme. Max Faubus is a 75-year-old retired building inspector.
Personally, I do believe that there's been fraud. The mail-out ballots as a first-time deal has been handled totally inappropriately.
Even as judge after judge tosses out the president's legal challenges, his followers steadfastly believe that Trump won re-election. John Burnett, NPR News.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 834 points. The Nasdaq fell 181 points. This is NPR. Celebrations across Europe erupted after the U.S. presidential election was called for Democrat Joe Biden Saturday. NPR's Eleanor Beardsley reports many leaders are expressing optimism for a return to the close transatlantic relationship.
Parisian Francis Thiard says he's come out to the mini Statue of Liberty on the Seine River to pay tribute to democracy. The French people consider our relationship with America very important, he says, and we hope it will be even better under President Biden. Western Europeans are eager to renew close ties with the U.S. after 4 years of strain under the Donald Trump presidency. But transatlantic relations expert Maud Kessar says things won't be the same.
European leaders, they think that going back to the old days and the old international liberal order as it was before Trump, it's an illusion.
Kessar says Europe has gained independence in the last 4 years and is ready to assert its own political, economic, and military priorities. Eleanor Beardsley, NPR News, Paris.
Federal regulators say they're requiring online conferencing platform Zoom to step up security measures. The agreement part of a deal reached with the company over allegations it misled users about its level of security for meetings. The settlement was announced by the Federal Trade Commission. A complaint filed with the agency accuses Zoom of deceiving users over security for a period of years. It's also accused the company of holding on to cryptographic keys allow it to access content from user meetings. Crude oil futures prices followed stocks higher. Oil up $3.15 a barrel today to $40.29 a barrel in New York. I'm Jack Speer, NPR News.
Welcome back to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 5 minutes after the hour.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and my guest tonight is Carl Albertson. He is a paranormal investigator with the CC Paranormal Team out of Caldwell County, Missouri. He is also a radio show host for his show is Paranormal Nation, but he runs all the shows for the WO Entertainment Network. And they've got shows on multiple nights during the week, not during my show. So we'll take that as a concession. So,
yeah, we will, because I had one that wanted to schedule it during your time slot, and I said no.
Woohoo!
And you know who that was? Matt.
Oh, yeah, Matt. No, he knows better.
He's the one that wanted that time slot.
And you should have told him, I can't do it.
I said, I can't do it. That's Denise's time slot. I won't do it.
Yep. And you are entitled to some time off to just listen and not talk. So, but I can't wait to see what Matt's been up to, especially because I know that, I remember when he got the job at Slaps Barbecue and everything. And we used to, when we used to go out to Atchison all the time, it wasn't that far off the road to stop and visit him. We just haven't been out there. And through no fault of our own or his, we just haven't been able to meet up. A few of the times when we went out to KCK, he was working. And it wasn't, it wasn't time for it. It wasn't something we weren't going to go to Slaps to eat when that's not what we went out there for,
Right.
So, and usually when we go to KCK, I hate to say it, but I'm going to Jazz.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get my Cajun food.
There you
go. That's it, So if he's making Cajun food, I'll be right there. But it is what it is. So, I
guess now he's at Charlie Pride's barbecue.
That's his.
Yeah. Wasn't that his dad's?
His dad was in the military, and I think it's named after something to do with that.
Oh, okay. I thought it was his dad, and something happened to Dad, and he took it over.
I don't know. I just remember
the way I understand it. Now, I may be wrong.
Except it's been a while since I talked to him about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Matt is a good guy, and he's overcome so much, and he's not retired. He's not retired Army, but he served in the Army.
Yes.
And he's an Army vet, and he has many injuries from his time in the Army.
Right. See, that's what I tell the guys there at WO Entertainment and all the shows we go to. Yeah, I'm a vet, but I was in the service when there was no war.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All these others, and I have high respect for the ones that were in Vietnam, Korea, World War II, like that. But I have a lot more respect for these kids that's coming back from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, and everything.
Africa. People don't realize we still got stuff going on in Africa.
They have seen so much stuff that they never should have ever seen. And the way they come back, a lot of them, like we had a gentleman that was real cute on our video there Saturday night or Friday night when we was doing the round table. We had a veteran come up there, right? And he had a false leg. He plopped it up on the table and was talking about it. So Richie asked him what happened, and he got it blown off over there and stuff. And he turns around and goes, my wife's got a fake leg too.
Oh, no.
She wasn't in service. She was in an accident and lost her leg.
Oh.
On the opposite side of his.
So these two could get into a fight beating each other with their legs.
Right. Okay.
I can just see this happening, but I'm not making light of it.
No. But the funny story is she was looking to buy a motorcycle, but she didn't know how to transfer it over and fix it up for a person with one leg.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The place she was buying it at said, well, we know a guy that's got one leg, it's got a motorcycle. So they introduced her to him. They hit it off. Down the road, they got married, and she still don't have a motorcycle.
Oh, well, I have a friend that's in a wheelchair who got injured in a car accident while he was in the military, and he has a motorcycle that he just pulls his wheelchair up on. and drives.
Yeah, well, there's one in Cameron. It's a motorcycle with a sidecar, and the guy pulls his wheelchair up in the sidecar. It's like a little box, right? He drives the motorcycle. She just sits on it.
That's kind of the same as my friend Bill.
It's the coolest thing to ever see. She'll sit there at a stoplight and cross her arms.
Yeah.
You know, with no hands on it. And then it takes off, and you got to see everybody's faces in the cars. They go, huh?
No. Well, if you don't know.
You're right.
And like I said, I worked with Bill at Sprint. In fact, that's how I got my job, is when the job I do now, all those years ago, when Sprint and Embark became two companies, he stayed with Sprint. I went with Embark, and I did his job for Embark. And of course, like I said, I'm still doing that same job, just for a different group of people. Company just keeps changing names on me. So they can't get rid of me, but they can change the company.
But they're still all affiliated with the same company, right?
No.
You're not with CenturyLink no more.
No, CenturyLink I am with, but it's not. Sprint is no longer part of anything to do with us.
Right.
And but yeah, CenturyLink is a division now of Lumen.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lumen is the big parent company of all of it.
Yes, Lumen is the big parent company of all of it, and CenturyLink is home service.
Okay.
And then we have Quantum Fiber and something cloud and something else. And I can't get any of it where I live, so I'm not the person to really ask. I just am doing reporting for now the entire U.S. as opposed to just a region.
Oh.
That's the only thing I know that has changed with my job.
Right.
And but I'm happy. I got a job. I'm not getting let go. Just keep me.
Well, that's true. I started.
Keep me 4 more years.
I got to give a shout out to my boss, Lucas Tunks from Tunks Construction. That gave me last week off for that world record. He was so glad to see me when I got back today.
Who covered for you when you were gone last week? Nobody?
Well, luckily, he found me somebody.
Oh.
That will work. That knows what they're doing.
Oh. So he's not paying them peanuts, right?
I walked in and I seen this guy and I looked at Lucas and I said, so he knows how to operate the equipment? He goes, yeah. He knows how to work on houses and concrete? Yeah. And I said, so I lost my foreman? He goes, no. Then the nice part was we were standing there and I turned around and I looked and I went, oh, my new truck. He goes, yeah, kind of.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we got a brand new 2020 Duramax Chevy, 4-door, 1-ton, to replace the one he burned up.
Oh, so he's realizing that you are going to keep him in business.
Yes. I mean,
that's good.
The nice thing about and what he loves about me, it has shocked me ever since I started working there, right? Is I go, okay, what's on the list? And he tells me 1, 2, 3 things to do. 3 things to do today, right? He takes off. I get in my truck, my trailer, and everything. Boom, I'm at 3 different locations. I'm wrapped up by 3 o'clock.
Oh, that's good.
That makes him money. I said, you got to make money now since you just went out and spent about $70,000.
Oh, yeah. At any of these places that you've done improvements on, have you seen anything paranormal while you've been there? Because I know that one you had to have.
Yes.
That trailer.
Yes, that trailer. I think in one way, I know things should have been done right when I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that may have been the problem.
These things were wrong.
Somebody's mind wasn't on the situation at the time.
When you showed me the done pictures, for some reason I got I got this happy feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of my old boss's house in Leavenworth when he called me and told me his house was happy.
Oh,
Did
really?
you feel like that when you guys got done fixing and all that?
Yes. When I finished the trim the way the guy wanted it, professional. Not squared in the corners up to the little plastic pieces and all that shit, right? And everything. I went in there and 45'd them and, did everything the correct way. I even fixed I had to go get 1 box of flooring. Yeah, 1 box of flooring to fix. Somebody couldn't measure to the door. We'll put it that way. It was like 3/4 of an inch short from the new door they put in. And so I had to take all that out and start replacing and fixing a bunch of it. So I got that done. I asked him today when I got to work, because I hadn't found out anything. I asked him about the trailer in Osborne. I said, have we found out anything? He goes, yeah, they love it. I said, so did you get paid finally? He goes, yep, I did.
Perfect. So not only are the people that are there living are happy, your boss is happy, and the trailer itself is happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, everybody was happy.
So that's good.
Then we got a big job coming in Cameron. The old bow hut that used to be the archery place there in Cameron sold out. So we got the contract to go in there and get the entire old building, and it's one of the old brick buildings in town.
Okay.
Right on the main drag there by the 4-way.
Okay.
And get it and fix it back up, because it's going to be a jewelry store.
Is that really big building?
No.
Or is it no?
It's a good sized building, but
is it more like the size of the building in Polo?
Oh no.
That's no longer there?
1 floor of that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have a 2-story jewelry store.
No.
So
but
okay.
we gotta go in and gut the entire building and everything and redo it up. Yeah.
Wear a respirator.
Oh, I will.
There's something that's
I told
telling
him
me
we're
that.
getting the ones with the vents on the side and all that. I ain't gonna take a chance.
No, you can't, because there could be asbestos.
Oh, I guarantee there's asbestos in there somewhere.
Not to mention lead paint.
Yeah.
Which,
all the good
going
stuff.
back to the Missouri State Pen, when we went there the first time, there was asbestos, lead paint, and mold.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's not. And so it just makes me wonder if some of those things were leading to some of the paranormal experiences that people were having back then.
Yeah, there probably was. Well,
there was also
I know
spiders as big as your head, too.
It's going to be interesting in that building anyway. I know the gentleman that owned the building that had the bow hut, right?
Yeah.
His 13-year-old son committed suicide.
Hopefully not with a bow.
No.
Because that'd be hard. But
in that building.
Oh.
They found him the next morning.
Well, I'm sorry.
Right. That's been years ago.
Yeah.
And everything. And me and him have talked about it. And he's seen strange things in there and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to tear that place apart.
Well, that is an unusual situation. So, and April, I hate spiders too, but in some of the places I've been, they've been as big as my head.
Right. But this undertaking, because LaBranch Jewelry is a real nice place in their other location, but they're tired of being off the main drag. They want on the main drag. So this is going to be a big job.
Well, don't screw up and.
Oh, I ain't.
I know you ain't.
No, but I'm going to be OCD like you ain't ever seen before.
Well, it's a big job, and I could see where they would want to be on the main drag, because anything off of there, nobody's going to know it's there.
Right. Well, it's also like I told Lucas, this is one of the old buildings in town. There's a lot of these old buildings in town that are getting ready to be remodeled. Your name's on the line here.
Yeah. You want to be able to get those contracts.
Right. I said, your name's on the line, my name's on the line, because I work for you.
So are you guys going to move down towards Cameron?
No.
No?
Nope. I like my house up here. It's quiet up here.
Well, you know what? We're at our next break. So if you guys have any questions at all for Carl or for me, please put them in the chat room and we will make sure that we get them asked and answered. But while we're on break, just remember you're listening to WBHM-DB.com out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we'll talk to you in a couple minutes.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Several U.S. presidents are on record talking about the UFO mystery.
Yeah, Presidents Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan both had UFO sightings of their own, but the current presidential campaign might be the first in which UFO disclosure has been championed by a major party candidate.
DIA, CIA, it moves around, is operating a program to train psychic spies to spy and use their powers against Russia. John Ronson writes about this in The Men Who Stare at Goats.
The first known sighting of a ghost took place right after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in the late 1860s during the administration of Ulysses Grant.
Project Paperclip, Clinton releases it all in 1998.
Possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I say, do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
I don't know what to think. The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial.
It's a place where UFO hunters and scientists gather to examine paranormal activity in the region.
Some of the documents, this is bringing Nazi scientists into the United States to work here. So we fought against the Nazis, and it's not, this again is not a revelation. As early as 1947, 1946, we knew some of this, right?
On the paranormal, will we see U.S. President Barack Obama's foreign policy go intergalactic in a quest for gold stolen by aliens? We'll tell you at least how the White House responded to claims the chief executive has been teleporting to Mars. But let's get to today's Capitol account.
UFOs, hauntings, psychic abilities, conspiracy, ESP, cryptozoology. There are many things that remain unexplained in the inexplicable world around us, and we're talking about them here, looking for answers on WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama. The truth is out there.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 23 minutes after the hour.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and tonight, Carl Albertson decided that he wanted to help me out by being my backup guest, and I am so grateful that he's here. And Carl, what if you could do anything? If you could go any place in the paranormal, where would it be?
Oh, let's see. I know, where I'd really like to go is that castle over in Scotland that we were supposed to have on our live video.
Oh.
It got shut down 4 hours before they were to go live.
Oh,
because
I forgot
of
the name
pandemic.
of that castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I seen a picture of that, and it's never been investigated before.
Right, and this was with Scotland Paranormal, right?
Yes.
And these are friends, of Rick McCullum, who's a good friend of Kat's and Hollywood Ghost Hunters. I guarantee that's on his list if he hasn't already been there.
Right. Because he brought pictures of it up and everything, and that thing looked really cool. I mean, it was nice. But to believe that over there no investigators have ever investigated or been allowed to is almost unheard of anymore.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that. And then the other person that you had on there for
David Cook.
Yeah, he's in London.
Yeah.
He was very interesting. He actually sent me a friend request after me hunting him down like a stalker. I did really good to get him on your show on the live stream for that night. And it was he had so much to say during the show. It was after the show when he was messaging me that he had even more to say about their lockdown.
Right.
He he went off for probably 45 minutes, and I don't even know what time it was. I think it was like 3:00 in the morning there.
Uh-huh.
And he was telling me about all the stuff that's going on over there related to the lockdown that started, Thursday?
Yep.
For a month.
Right.
And how they've been how things have been going over there from a firsthand account, and it's disturbing.
Oh, it's disturbing anywhere over there. I know in Spain, our little foreign exchange student that we got to know real well lives over there, and she was sending messages to Mike and Carrie and everything about their lockdown. They can't go out unless they have a certified letter from the government saying they can go out.
That's terrible that you can't even go out in your yard.
No, you can't go out. You can't be standing out on the sidewalk and a cop drive by and ask you for that paper.
Well,
I was like, oh, that's terrible.
Well, it is. And hopefully, you know what? I'm not going to get political. Hopefully we don't see that here. That's all I'm going to say.
I hope we don't, but it's a scary thought.
But I could see why you would want to go to that castle. The castle's name started with a B. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if it's Balvenie. It was something else.
No. I'd have to go back and look.
It was kind of like two words together. Blaylock. Was it Blaylock Castle?
Something like that.
I guess my phone's dead, so I can't look it up in the messages because he sent me some messages, but I can't look it up. But I'll find it and I'll share it. And but David Cook was so entertaining in the short amount of time that he was on there.
And he's doing a lot of experiments. He's doing a lot of experiments with dowsing rods. He's trying to figure a way. He's tried them in the ground, in wood, where you're not holding them, and to get them to react.
Yeah. I think he's got some really good ideas and experiments to try. I think it'll be interesting to see how his experiments turn out.
Right. And he does a radio show too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I didn't know that until I met him on another show.
So in the United States, do you have a place that you want to go?
People out in the chat room, I want to give a shout out
Go ahead.
To WBHM for Kat and Denise for giving permission to us at WO Entertainment to use these shows like this on our live feed. That was just, they stepped right up to the plate. I was shocked.
Well, we're more than happy to share our shows with people. That's why we do this, and making sure that people know, we're here for your listening pleasure, as well as, hey, if you've got a paranormal story and we can share it, we will. We'd like to hear your stories or help if necessary, or anything along the paranormal spectrum. So, if you've got Bigfoot stories, or UFO stories, I may not know that much about it, but I'm really interested in hearing it. And Kat really loves that stuff.
Well, it's the same way with me. I love listening to it. I've never went out, and done that. And we do it at the cemetery, but we do it jokingly.
Yeah, we had a good time out there and in the cemetery.
It wasn't that cold.
No, it was not this last time. This last time it was not as cold, but
it did rain.
So it did, but we made sure that the
bad
person
one who got it out of that was Gary. For some reason, that tent leaked.
Yeah, he needs to
I've got to
reapply the stuff to his tent.
Yeah,
but the good news is the tent we brought for Emily did not leak, and we put hers in a place where she didn't even get wet.
Right.
So I told Ron, I said, this is where we put our tent the next time. This is the spot.
And how did that blanket work out for you guys?
The weighted blanket worked out great.
Did it weigh you guys down when it was over top of you?
When we used it at the camp out at the cemetery, it kept sliding off of us because we had it on top of the slippery sleeping bag.
Uh-huh.
But when we went to McPike, I brought this fluffy blanket that wasn't slippery, and we just put it across our feet. Our feet were not cold.
Oh, wow.
So it worked out really good. In fact, I let Lacey use it when she came to visit, and she went and she bought one and had it delivered to her house before she got home.
Yeah.
A queen size one. So hers weighs 15 pounds. So it's a lightweight one. I know you wouldn't think that a 15-pound blanket would be considered lightweight,
No.
but mine is really small and it's 12 pounds. And
it just seems like a lot of weight laying on top of you.
It's supposed to help with anxiety, and basically it's supposed to help you feel like you're safe.
Right.
And so if you suffer from anxiety, this blanket should help you.
Right.
In my case, when they were giving them away at the casino, I told Ron, I said, I don't care about what else they have. I said, I want this weighted blanket. And he thought I was nuts. And I said, I'm thinking camping. I think it'd be perfect. Because for some reason, we only camp in the when it's cold.
Right. And he says we might go camping this weekend. So
yeah.
You and Ron's going camping this weekend.
Yeah. And I keep getting that bag back in, or that blanket back in that bag. I got it down pat now. But because you can't carry it without the bag. You can't wash it because it'll tear up your washing machine. So you have to take it to the car wash to hang it up to wash it. So and it's got glass beads in it. But it's like I said, if you suffer from anxiety, this is the blanket for you. I wouldn't suggest you using it in the car, only because it's so damn heavy. Right. But I use my heated seats and I'll put a blanket over me. It's like I'm baking myself with the heated seats and the blanket. But it's because I get so cold all the time. So
right.
But
at Paracon, at the not Paracon, but at the Warrior Fest this year, you seen Shay on there, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, the little bitty petite thing.
Yes.
Or I won't say petite, but she was little.
Mm-hmm.
You know she's a professional weightlifter.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. She went to the Arnold this year.
Oh, wow.
And she was showing me videos of it and everything. And I think she ranked 7th.
Ron was really into that stuff when we first met. He was cut up really good back then.
Mm-hmm.
Still is pretty decent now, but yeah, I remember that was he would pose and all this stuff. I remember that.
Yeah, she went up there. She lifted 315 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that means she could lift me up.
She's also a personal trainer. I found all this out this weekend from her and everything. That girl is strong. She had a video she showed me and everything. She took a 7-pound watermelon between her thighs and split it.
Oh.
And I was like, my God, you're not that big.
Yep.
So, but yeah, she was, like I said, the people we met down there at Warrior Fest this year was just unbelievable people. It's just we had some issues with the bar itself. So we'll just have to see what happens for next year.
Oh, I'll be good.
Yeah, it will.
Things happen for a reason. Yeah. And, better now than during the next event. So it all worked out.
I think we ran our gamut down there.
Yep.
For
the Paranormal Conference on November 21st in Cameron, how much are vendor slots?
Vendor slots are $40 a piece.
And is the table included in that, or do you have to bring your own table?
Either way, we can provide a table, or you can bring your own table.
Okay.
And stuff. To get into the event, it runs from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's $10 a person to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Also on the guest list there, I forgot to announce, ending the guest segment of the Paracon there, WO Entertainment Comedy will be up on stage. Richie will be up there. Jeff Onyx will be up there. And I believe it's either going to be Roy Anthony or Taifu Panda will be there for comedy.
Or is there going to be a round table or anything like that?
Very well could be when it's all said and done.
Is John Long coming up with David Glidden?
I sent him messages. I wanted John and his wife. I wanted her to bring her crystals up and everything. Stuff. So I'm waiting to hear from them.
Just use my name. Tell them Denise and Ron will be there.
I already did. And David knows and everything. So we got all that. So I'm sure John will show up.
You want to hear something strange? Is right after we got down to Alabama, John Long sent me a message. Right after we got down to it was probably 15 minutes after I got the tropical storm warning on my phone. He sent me a message to find out how we were. I was like, at that point we were fine, but I thought it was he has the oddest timing of sending me messages, and usually it's for help, to find somebody that's in the area that can help with readings and stuff. Do remote readings, and this time I sent him. I felt like June Lundgren was the right person to send him this time, and because I always get a feeling of who's the right person to help. Not discounting anyone, but sometimes the medium that you contact is more for that situation than another situation. I don't know what the situation was. It's just that's what my gut told me was to send June Lundgren, and she is really good, and I really like her a lot. I had her on that show that I did in Tennessee, and she's just a really good person. Do you guys have any other events coming up that you're working on personal? I mean, maybe even just personal.
Nothing right now. I think after we get Pat well. The only other events we got coming up will be with WO Entertainment. We got some comedy shows. One's going to be in Chillicothe, Missouri, over there at Blackwater Lounge and Restaurant on the 28th. And then BB's Home Cooking, where I did a live stream during our live video up here. We're going to be setting one up there December, it's either 3rd or 5th, a comedy show up there.
Well, that's good.
That, and we got it in the works that next year, WO Entertainment may be going on the road on a tour.
Oh.
Yeah, to New York, Texas, California.
New York won't be open yet.
I know it. That's why I'm saying we're supposed to be.
Yeah. I don't know
Taifu Panda, one of our big name professional comedians, is setting up a tour and wanted us all to go on there.
Probably should check to see what the rules are for engagement in some of those states, because New York, you basically have to tell them every place you're going to be and all kinds of weird stuff. But
right, that's why I say it's going to be a hit and miss next year. Depending on how all this, if it lifts up real quick or if it continues on even worse.
Well, you did hear the news of Pfizer having a vaccine that's almost ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Or is ready to go. I don't know which one it was. Sometimes I have the news on. I don't hear it. I just have the noise on to make it feel like I'm in the office.
Right.
Mostly it's soap operas. So I'm going to be honest.
Right.
Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, and Young and the Restless are my roomies during the day when I'm working.
Right.
It's stuff I can listen to. I know what's going on, and I don't have to watch it.
Right.
So, but that's
and before we get off here, I got another thing to say.
Go for
Everybody in the chat room, prayers for a real good friend of mine, Scott Widener, and his family, where I deer hunt and real close friends out here. During the week that we was doing the live video, him, his brother, his nephew, and his son were in Wyoming mule deer hunting out there.
Mm-hmm.
They got back Friday, right? Scott lives outside of town here where I do, and his brother lives up by Mercer, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
They had just got back. He was driving up there, passed the farm vehicle, crashed, and died.
Oh, no.
So prayers out to the Widener family in this area. I mean, it hit hard.
That's sad. You know, having a great time, and then suddenly not anymore.
Right, and you know, here I'm doing the live and down at Warrior Fest and everything, and I get notice of that, and I'm like, oh crap! Now I'm down here, and I can't be up there to be with the family and everything. It was rough.
It is. Well, prayers for them. I hope that their pain, it's not going to go away, but I hope it's bearable.
Yeah.
And they'll see each other again in time.
They will.
But,
and they have, at least he had the week with his brother.
And Sherry says, friends, prayers for your friend Scott.
Yes. Thank you.
So, and on that Pfizer thing, just so I don't get fact checked, it's not peer reviewed and no papers have been released. It's just a news story that they had that there was something coming.
Right.
So I don't want to be completely wrong. And again, I'm still anti-vax. I'm not getting the vaccination anyway.
I ain't either.
So
it hasn't been tested.
Not enough.
No.
It usually takes years. So
I'm just waiting to see if they're right, that the old blood type O doesn't get this virus.
Lacey and Ron and Leah are all O, and they have not been sick.
Well, that's way with me. I'm O negative, and I haven't, and I've been everywhere. I don't wear a mask.
Okay, and you know what? We're at our last break, so any questions, please put them in the chat. We're talking to Carl Albertson from Caldwell County, Missouri, and we will be back on WBHM-DB.com in just a couple minutes.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope. That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
This is Jason Bland, host of Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, where we stream live as a webcast every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, with guests who will blow your mind. Live ghost box sessions where you can call into the show to see if the spirits will talk to you, and the world wide web of weird with the latest in paranormal news and evidence. We're bringing the weird every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 45 minutes after the hour.
Back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and my guest tonight has been Carl Albertson, not Anderson, Albertson, and he has been doing a great job. After talking for over 171 straight hours, almost. How many hours was it that you were on by just you?
Just me, myself. I logged in over 130 hours.
So,
behind a camera, live on a live stream.
Surprisingly enough, he agreed to be on the show tonight. And I wasn't going to ask him, but I did, and I'm glad I did. And so I'm going to ask you some paranormal questions real quick.
Okay.
So in the United States, if there was a place that you could go, where would it be to paranormal investigate?
OK Corral.
The OK Corral?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like those type of people, and if the stories are true, there should be a lot of evidence down there.
And where was that? Was that in Tombstone?
Yeah.
Well, there is. And, Rhonda and Dwight Hull have asked us to come down there. It's just so far out of the way to get down there from our trips. But
right.
They have told us that we get down there, they would take us to all the places that the tourists don't get to go. So it's interesting. I just wonder how haunted the desert is on the outskirts of that town.
Pretty haunted. I would say just about as haunted as the outskirts of Las Vegas.
It's weird out there. I mean, it really is. It's weird when you go out of town and you go suddenly from, the bright lights are behind you, but in front of you is total darkness.
Uh-huh.
The first time we went to our son-in-law's house is before they got married. We're on Warm Springs. It's a road that goes into the mountains. And I'm like, we get to the end and it's like, crap, it's a mountain. I don't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in the right place? And, we turn left and we go up the road and there's some houses there, but it's still kind of dark. And Lindsay has told us all kinds of stories about this mountain that we drove, that we basically drive up to and then we have to turn left. And she goes, there are people that live on that mountain that are homeless. There's bodies found up there all the time. The helicopters are out there all the time looking for whatever. She goes, it reminds me of our old house in Kansas City, Missouri. It wasn't a mountain, but South Patrol was always flying over our house when we lived out there. But she goes, yeah, it's always like that. So Lindsay keeps a scanner on her phone all the time because she wants to hear what's going. Lindsay is a busybody when it comes to the police. She wants to work for the police so bad. And as funny as it is, at least she knows what's going on in her neighborhood. I have no clue what's going on here where I live, but she knows what's going on. And it is strange when you're leaving town, how dark it is. And then when you're driving towards it, it's like the sunrise or the sunset. It's right in your face. But yeah, I do wonder, going out to Good Springs from there. I mean, it's only like 4 exits from Lindsay's.
Right.
So Good Springs is where the Pioneer Saloon is.
Mm-hmm.
And it is strange what you think you see. And because it's so hot most of the time when we're out there, I don't know if what I'm seeing is real or mirage.
Right.
We were going
up.
You
think of all the bodies that are buried out there.
Well, in this case, out near Good Springs, there was a big plane crash that killed a bunch of people, everybody on board. Carol Lombard and her mother and some other people. That's the whole thing out there. But we were driving up to Goldfield one time, and I'm looking out the window, and just every time we went up to Goldfield, it's been in April or March or April. We don't usually go the other time of our trip. I mean, we go in September, but we went in the spring. So it's usually not a big chance of it being a mirage, but it looked like I saw somebody running across the desert, from a distance. I mean, it actually looked like a running man. And I told Ron, he didn't see anything, but it just makes you wonder what you're seeing. And is it, hey, we're 7,000 feet above sea level? Am I possibly seeing stuff because of, a, illness, mile high illness or whatever? But nope, this was all flat. It was past the dunes and it was actually past the Air Force Base. So it was in near Area 51, not in Area 51. It was near it. So I don't know what I was seeing, but he didn't see it. Leah didn't see it either. So I don't know what it was, but it makes you wonder, where are you going to find, is there a certain area I need to go to? I know that, what's his name? He's got the same last name as Warren, Joshua Warren. Yeah. He's got some places that he takes people now to go out and see aliens, where he says that this is a great place to see UFOs. And I know where that is. I've never seen anything there, but it's by the Henderson Airport. So It's kind of a weird place.
You at the cemetery,
mm-hmm.
You seen those ones walking down the road, and then Gary gets that picture of something in his truck.
Like I said, I think it was beside his truck. It just happens to be the way that it caught it. It looks like it's sitting in his truck.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's walking by, kind of curious looking in.
Uh-huh.
And because it doesn't know what it is.
Right.
Even though, maybe this one felt like a residual spirit. It didn't feel like an intelligent one. So maybe it was, or maybe it was intelligent and it was checking out the truck.
It could have been.
This is a nice iron horse.
It was strange that you come back and said, yeah, you seen three of them walking. And later on, I see the picture Gary brings in to give me and stuff. And I go, what's inside that truck?
Yep.
That's what it looked like.
Was that taken with one of the game cams?
No, that was taken with Gary's camera.
Well, I saw during the event, he was letting other people use his SLS.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. I'd be a little concerned, but...
Yeah, that's what I thought, too.
He's very trusting.
He is. But that's what we do on events. We let the people use our equipment. Now, that one there on our paranormal tours and stuff, either Gary or me's holding it.
And so when we have the paranormal conference up there, will there be a paranormal, will there be an investigation that night as well?
Yes, there will be. It will start at 8 p.m. and run until about 2 p.m. there with all the guests.
And how much extra is it to investigate?
There are $50 a ticket to investigate, and there's going to be a limit of 15 people.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we're not going to have a gigantic crew, but this way, the people in our area that come to there can investigate with other paranormal people that's not in their area, that they can see, like you, for example. You do the radio show, you've been on the radio for, a little over 5 years now, have you?
5.5. Show number 200 is next Monday with David Glidden.
Right. And David Glidden will be there to investigate. I'm sure John Long will be there with him to investigate. These are people that up in our area wouldn't get to investigate with very often.
No.
And I can't wait to investigate with the Midland Ghostbusters.
I look forward to meeting them and seeing what they have to share. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I met them at CC Paranormal 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was the year we went to Mattoon and went to the very first spook show, I believe.
Right.
Or was it the one that we hosted, the one I hosted in DeKalb last year?
I think it was the one you hosted in DeKalb. It was running at the same time.
Yeah.
But seeing their vehicle out there and their skits they did, like when you're talking, don't be shocked if they don't come in trying to get Slimer.
As long as they don't slime me, they're fine.
Right. They do skits like that all the time during the events.
Well, that's good. Like I said, it'd be fun to meet them, and especially since they're local, it'll be nice to visit with them. Hopefully, some of the people that I shared the event with will make the trip. Right. If not, I would understand.
Yes.
You know,
I can
because-
understand a lot. I talked to Nick Muley and Tom McNicholas and everything. They're going to see how their schedule lines out and what's going on before they say, yeah, they're coming.
especially with Tom working 2 jobs,
Yeah.
working the school and Walmart at the same time.
Right.
And Nick's dad, I don't know if he can get approval to come.
Right.
Because Nick's dad's still his caretaker. So I worry about Nick a lot. He's a good guy. And then, like I said, Frank Bennett, I shared it with him. And like I told you earlier, it's 8 hours further than DeKalb.
Right.
And I said, if you're coming to visit with us, that's great. But, you know, I'd love to see you, but I'd hate for you to make that long drive just in case.
Right.
You know, but anybody that's looking to be a vendor, please contact Carl at the CC Paranormal Team on Facebook, and we'll get you in there somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Is any of the people who have businesses in the school, are they going to be having their doors open for that day? Because I know that there's a metaphysical store in there. That's why I was asking.
Right. That one might be open, but the rest of it's going to be blocked off during the Paracon and everything, because they also have the old school set up for Christmas already.
Well, yeah, they had the forest set up the last time we were there.
Yeah.
The trees were just all pulled out, and
they had that all cleaned up Halloween night.
I told Ron, I said, when I looked and I saw that when we were there, the first thing I said is, it's looking kind of squatchy in here. So it was fun, very funny, but I knew that why they got them out, that they got their trees all set up. Right. So where are the trees all set up? Are they set up in the...
They're set up on the second floor area up in there. They're now set out in front, down in the bottom where you've seen them before. Besides the room that's Santa Claus's room in there.
So are they doing visits with Santa up there?
Yep.
Yeah, because I didn't know if they were going to be doing them this year at Bass Pro or Cabela's.
Right.
Well,
like
I would say
up
probably
here,
not
we're
at
not
Bass
under
Pro.
big mandates yet.
Yeah, because I got the baby. I got Ruby. I got him a little Christmas outfit, and I said, "Oh, you can wear this when you go see Santa." And then I thought, there may not be a Santa this year in the county north of us.
Right.
So hopefully there'll be one in our town, because like I said, like I've told people before, we're not shut down. 645 cases since the beginning and 2 deaths doesn't sound horrible. So, you know, there's not much you can do when your county says, no, you don't have to do that. So
no, there's not.
But yeah, hopefully we can take the baby to see Santa, but with mommy being pregnant, it's going to be questionable at the best.
Yep.
So, well, how can people reach you, Carl?
They can reach me on CC Paranormal Team's Facebook page. They can also reach me on WO Entertainment's Facebook page. Just message either one of those. Or they can find me at Carl Albertson's Facebook page and send me a message.
And if you get any of that and you still need to reach Carl, you can always contact me and I can tell you where to find Carl Albertson. And does CC Paranormal Team have a web page?
No, not at the moment. We don't.
Okay. How about, does WO Entertainment have a web page?
It's under construction right now. We're building a brand new web page.
Okie dokie. And let's see. Tickets for the paranormal conference, contact CC Paranormal Team.
Yep. Contact me. They're $10 a ticket. The private investigation that night with all the other team members and guests there will be $50 a person, and there's a limit of 15 people.
If they show up at the door, are you selling tickets at the door?
Yes. Tickets at the door. Like I said, that day of the event, that's where you'll purchase them, are $10 a piece.
Okay. And if they show up at the door, is it cash only, or will you be able to accept PayPal or anything like that?
Cash only.
Okie dokie. Like I said, those kinds of things are important.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on tonight, Carl. I appreciate it more than you know. Tune in next week when my guest is David Glidden, and it'll be a special 200th show. I can't believe I finally got there, but I did. So join us next Monday night at 7 p.m. Central right here on WBHM-DB.com. And you guys have a great week and think positive.
Good night, everybody.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.